Hello friends, my name is Kisan and welcome you in this video tutorial. In this video tutorial we are going to explore some of the API which belongs to the current hash map, and those API or those methods have been added in the Java 8. So in this video tutorial basically I'm going to talk about the three methods, and which are first of all for each key. So you can see there is two overloaded method for each key in concurrent hash map. So in this video we'll talk about the first overloaded method, which takes long as an argument first, and second is the consumer. So first argument is nothing but this we have already discussed, this is parallel threshold, right? Now next API in this list we are going to discuss for each value. So here after for each key we have another method is called for each value. So which again takes first parameter as a long, and second parameter as a consumer, and last in this video we'll talk about the for each entry, right? So this is the API I'm talking about. So let's go ahead. Here is the Eclipse and try to understand these three methods through an example. So I have created a project here and I have created a client class over here. Let's create a object of concurrent hash map. So concurrent hash map, and key I'm going to take a string, and value also I'm going to take as a string over here. Now a specific name of this map, I'm going to specify map itself, and let's create an instance of concurrent hash map. Sorry. Now in this map we are going to add some key value pairs. So let's use for each loop, and I will iterate this loop I want to iterate this loop 50 times. So 1 to 51. And this map I'm going to store 50 entries. So we have a put method, and key we are going to specify session ID underscore, and I will concat this number. So session ID 1, 2, something like that. Okay, now value we are going to add. So basically I want to create a session ID for 50 people, and I want to store in this map. So to store session ID in this map, let's make value as a class is called UUID. You must have heard about this, which belongs to the java.util package. So UUID has a method is called random UUID. So this will create a something like, it's a long string, looks like a actual session ID, right? So basically key we have taken as a string and value as a UUID. Now we have a concurrent hash map object over here. Now first method we are going to look, that is called for each key. Okay, which takes two arguments. First argument you need to specify the parallel threshold. So how many threads you want to be used in this scenario. So here I'm going to specify 3, and action is nothing, you can see action is nothing but it's a consumer class, it's a functional interface. So consumer here we are going to specify, right? So instead of consumer we can specify like this, right? System dot out and double colon println, right? So okay, so that's it. Now if you run this program, then what output we are getting? We'll get here 3 thread will be used internally, right? If you want to print those name of the thread, then you can check my previous video tutorial. There I have printed all 3 threads, right, which is getting used internally. So first thread will have a main thread, apart from that 3 more thread will be created. That depends on the again JVM. And here basically this will extract every key from the this map, and that will be printed over here, and this iteration will be done by the 3 threads, right? So if I run it, Now look at it here. We do not get output in the sequential manner, right? So basically iteration is done by the 3 parallel threads. So that's why we are getting, of course we are getting the all 50 keys which is present in the concurrent hash map, but we are not getting these keys in the sequential manner, because this API is usually using, I mean, this action is performing in the parallel manner. Right now, next API we are going to check. So I hope you understood. So every key will be extracted from this map, and that's your printing in the parallel fashion by using this API for each key. So name itself saying that for each key. Now next method we are going to show map dot for each value. So of course name itself saying that for each value, right? So for each value, right? So I'm talking about this first. So here I'm going to again specify the number of threads to be used, 3, and here same I'm going to write this consumer interface like this, and here at this time this guy is going to extract value from the map, and that will be printed. Let me show you. So look at here. So here first API has extracted keys from the map, right, in parallel fashion, and that is getting printed, and the second API is just extracting the values, that is nothing but the session ID. Session ID is for the 50 people, and that is getting printed, right, and this is also executing in the parallel fashion, right. So that's about the for each value. Now next API we are going to use for each entry. So let's call that method on this map. So map dot for each entry. So you might have heard about the entry set, right, which is present in the collection interface, right, sorry, map interface. So which gives you the collection view of map, right. So that is very similar to that. So for each entry, and here number of threads I'm going to specify 3, and here just we want to print the key value pairs from the map. Benefit is that if you use for each entry, then this iteration will be performed in the parallel manner. So that's why we are using, else we would have used for each loop which accepts by consumer, right, and that for each method is available on the map interface, which already we have seen, right. So let's here we have an entry, right, and let's write a lambda expression for this entry. Now system.out.println, and here I'm going to print e.getKey. So map.entry, right, we have a map interface. Inside that we have an entry interface which contains these two API, right, getKey and getValue. That's why we are able to directly call getKey and getValue. So e.getValue, right. So this is one of the short and crispy way to do the iterate the map, but in parallel fashion, right. So if I run the program, then third iteration you will get the key value pairs both, and that is getting performed in the parallel fashion. That is, iteration is done by the multiple threads. These threads also you can print and see what task is assigned to the which thread. So here you can see session ID for person 11 is getting printed first, then 12, then 10. There is no order, right, because this task is divided into the batch, and that is getting assigned to the different threads, and that's where this iteration is happening, right. So I hope you understood what the significance, what the use of third API for each entry as well. So I hope you enjoyed learning this video, and this code I'm going to put on the GitHub, and source code GitHub location I'm going to specify in the video description section itself, so that you can download and run in your local machine. Thanks for watching this video, and see you in next video tutorial.